Hello, and thanks for joining me. My name is Julie, and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. So today I'm showing you the second of 4 projects from October Stamp Club 2025. This project is actually either a mini card or you could use it as a table decoration. I think these would be lovely placed at each person's place setting, perhaps for a holiday dinner or at a party. So I have a quarter sheet here of cardstock. This is 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches. And I'm using thick cardstock. You can use the thick weight or the regular weight. I'm using the thick because I like how it stands up, especially used as table decor. I'm going to go ahead and make a score line here at 2 3/4 inches. And this is going to allow me to fold very nice and crisp right there in half on that piece of white paper. All right, let's talk about some of these other pieces as I set my Simply Scored out of the way. All right, I'm using Traditions of Christmas paper, 12 by 12 paper. And this piece, this is the front side of that print. Beautiful poinsettia, that lovely foil. This is the back side, and it's a secret C pattern. That is what we're using. So I've already pre-cut this piece, and this piece measures 2.5 inches by 4 inches. You can see how nicely it's going to fit right there on the front of our project. All right, then I have a strip of Pool Party. The Pool Party is 1.25 inches by 4 inches. Then I've got 2 pieces that I've die cut. So you're going to need a scrap of old olive so that you can die cut this oval, and a scrap of just the regular weight basic white cardstock so we can cut that out. And I'll show you those dies. Okay, there's the smaller oval and the larger oval. You will find these as dies in, here's a couple other ones, but I've pulled other ones out because I've been using them. These are the coordinating dies to the Traditional Labels stamp set. Now, if you want to get the whole suite of products, the Traditions of Christmas suite, it includes this stamp set bundle, so the stamps and dies. It includes this stamp set bundle, the stamps and the dies, plus the Traditions of Christmas paper and embellishments and so forth. So you might just want the whole suite. Or you can pick and choose and just get certain products out of that suite. So here's our larger oval cut with out of old olive cardstock, and here's our white. Now the next piece, you'll see this beautiful die cut. This comes from another one of the pieces of that paper. All right, this is the front side of that paper, and it has this image that has the bright red poinsettia, and it also has this one with the pale pink and white. The back side of that is another secret C print, this time with a stripe, but we're using this. So what you want to do to get this die cut image is just take your scissors and loosely cut out around the shape that you're going to use, and then you can see that the die is going to fit onto that shape so that you can then cut it out and you end up with this. Absolutely stunning. So I've done that ahead of time for you, and we're going to use that piece. All right, now we're going to use the words from Traditional Labels, and we're going to use Merry and Bright. And I attempted, I'll tell you this, it might save you a step. I attempted to put the Merry and the and Bright on the same stamp so I could do it all at once. And it was just impossible to get the and Bright close enough to the Merry that it really looked like one stamp. It consistently looked awkward. It looked like it was split apart too far. You just cannot get this close enough. So because of that, I went ahead and mounted them on separate blocks, and we're going to stamp them separately, but once they're stamped, it's going to look all uniform. All right, so we're going to do that on this tiny little white oval, and we are going to use Real Red ink, which I need to grab. All right, hold on while I find my real red ink pad. As I mentioned, this is the second of 4 projects. And in the first project, we used real red, and I can see that I set it aside after that project, after I was filming that. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp Mary. And I can see through the block, and I can line up Mary right where I want it at the top, and it's curving with the oval, like so. Then I'll take the and bright, and now I can tuck it right up close to the Mary, line it up so it looks good with the shape of the oval, and stamp that. And now it looks like a Mary and Bright stamp when actually it was 2 separate ones. It's kind of nice that it's separate because you might want to use this Mary with that Christmas and mix up the fonts. Or you might want to use, what else could you do here? You could do Happy Christmas. You could do Mary with, you could do Mary and Bright in the mixed font. So you have a lot of different options. This way we just combined the 2 of the similar font and we got that. All right, we're gonna attach that to our green oval, which is gonna make a lovely little frame around this piece. So I'm just gonna center that. All right, then let's go to our base and we will attach our designer series paper, that Secret C print. And we'll go ahead and center that on this piece. All right, next we're gonna add our pool party strip. The first project video that goes with October Stamp Club from 2025 is a Christmas card. So you'll want to look for that video, 1 of 4. This one is marked 2 of 4, and then there will be 2 others. So be sure and watch for all 4 projects. All right, that is down. I like it. Now this is going to go next, and it's going to go in this direction. Now it's a little bit sad because we're going to cover up the middle flower, but it looks so beautiful that you're going to see why we're going to do that. So we want to pop this one up. So we're going to grab our dimensionals, and I'm going to use some minis. Actually, I'll probably use a mixture of minis and the full size. It's a rather large die cut that we have here, so I want to make sure that it's going to be popped up and not sag anywhere. So I'm going to use my minis kind of on these little edges that poke out, kind of all around the outside edges. How many have we used? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've used 6 so far, 7, probably about 8 of these. And then you can continue with the minis, or you could grab full-size ones. And we're going to add another 3 right across the middle. You can see this one is used up. Oh, wait, there's one more. And then we don't want to waste, and nobody is going to see. So I'm just going to make a snip here and use this corner as my final one. All right, let's let's pull the backings off. All right, just a couple more. Oh, that one's already off. Now, let's go ahead and add this to the front of our project. And we're just going to center it over that blue stripe. your little leaves should go end to end. So they're just barely fitting on the card. They almost want to hang off the edge, and it looks really nice because it's filling up the space. All right, so we're going to press that into place, and then we will add this right here across the center. Look at how beautiful that looks. All right, let's add this, and then we're going to put some embellishments on to finish it. So I'm going to add my glue mostly to the middle because that is the part that's really going to cling onto there. And that is centered on my die cut spray. And then in this instance, I wanted to add rhinestones. So let's do that, and we're going to add 3 of them. All right, I know for sure that I want 1 over here on this flower. Then we're going to add 2 more. I'll put 1 down and 1 up here, like so. Just a little bit of bling, and that really pulls it together. This, my friends, is project 2 from Stamp Club of October 2025. As you can see, this would be a cute little card. You could also, if you wanted to, you could punch a hole in it, add some ribbon or twine, and hang it from a gift bag. This could be tucked on top of a package, or I think it would sit up nicely at a place setting, even on the plate on the folded napkin, and it would look like a beautiful holiday decoration. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure and watch for project 3 and 4, and go back and catch project 1 if you have missed that.